flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All righty, call the meeting to order. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
First and second, all in favor? Motion to approve the minutes.
I so move for the agenda, minutes as printed. 11:28.
Okay, you have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. General public concerns. Doesn't look like we have any.
We might tell people why we don't only have three here this morning.
Oh, yeah.
One's at a funeral, one's had some surgery.
One's had some surgery done, and the other's had a funeral. Paul, you're the first one up. And only.
Please tie on for us, too.
Mm-hmm. Took a while to tie, but other than that, we're all right. Two orders of business this morning, and one is to accept resignation of secondary roads employee. This is dated November 30th. I, Rick Thompson, regretfully hereby resign from the Humboldt County Secondary Road Department after completing approximately 29 and a half years of service. My last working day will be January 6th. Rick has deliberated on this for a number of years, and until I saw that letter, we weren't gonna do anything with it, but Rick's been over there 29 and a half years, part of the Hardy basketball team out of that group.
Yeah.
Sad to go, but he's in good shape. It's a good time to go.
I move we accept with regret the resignation of Rick Thompson, 29 years of service of engineering department.
I'll second that.
I got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I wanna thank Rick for all his years.
Mm-hmm.
It's kinda sad to see you lose all that experience too. Always good draw.
Well, and like he says, it might take us to hire a couple guys to replace him, so.
What's the plan for that? You got something going on.
All right, next order of business is approve the transfer posting for secondary roads. I'm gonna read this, just because this makes it clear. According to Article 7, Section 2 of the current union contract, Humboldt County is required to post a notice within an area shop for an opening for 5 working day period. There will be a laborer position opening in Hardy maintenance area. So this allows transfer within the system in the event that somebody wants to switch out of one of the other shops to work in the Hardy area. And I have the posting here, and I have it approved transfer posting for secondary roads on agenda. Should no one transfer, then, only then, we would open up for hiring from the outside. If somebody wants to transfer, then we have to post the same transfer opening wherever they transferred from for another week. So that's why we're getting it going.
And then you could have another transfer from another shop to there, so it could be lengthy.
You may have to use temporary people if we get somebody hired.
Right, and temporary people are in the wings, but Rick will be around through, would they say, another month anyway. And we'll work with temporary if we have to in the intermediate time period. But we'd hope that at some point we're up here to put an announcement that it could be as early as next week, it could be weeks away, a job posting for the general public.
On those new hires, did we pass an ordinance, or we talked about years past, new employees would be required to get a medical certificate?
Yes.
That's one of the...
That's in our postings, it's been for the last 2 or 3.
CDL with medical.
And that's, I think we have 3 on board with the medical. But I believe you guys got one of these in the agenda, the transfer postings, and that's what I brought for approval.
Sure did.
Kinda hard to get a guy trained in such a short time when he leaves now for snow removal.
Yeah, and then be jumped right into snow.
The engineer's trained, he can drive one of the snow plows.
Yeah.
And what we do, wait for a motion or something, an approval, or, what we do, we don't throw them right in. Obviously, this transfer, somebody would know what's going on, but on a new hire, in the middle of winter time is probably not bad time. We'd supplement part-time with getting somebody's feet wet, running the motor patrol or a truck. Not out there in the first day that it's blowing snow, you can't see a pile in front of you, but
Yeah,
ease them into it, train them, in other words.
okay.
You let him go as another driver for a while?
Well,
Learn what he-
the best thing is to, just with any equipment, is to, show them the equipment in a wide open spot somewhere and say, here, play with it a while. Then stop back in with some experienced operator, talk to them, address some concerns, let them play, let them get used to the machinery, and that's how we address it. We usually use several different, operators, because everybody's got a different way to slice or...
Yeah.
I move we approve the transfer posting as quoted by Paul.
You have a second? All in favor? Motion carries.
So for the general public, this is not an opening yet, and we will bring an opening for, board's, approval as soon as next week or the week after somewhere. And I'd stand here today and recommend that we would fill the position, but, that's a new, different, beyond that. I did see on the bottom, just at the last minute here, is to discuss, snow removal in a courthouse, and hopefully you got what I sent you via email. Okay, and I don't know what you need, if anything, from me. Okay.
We got a question.
Very good.
Okay, we're gonna lead right into that. We got discussion and action on Marcel excavation quote for snow removal. I just got a call from Bruce, because Bruce was down to the funeral. And he said, do we have a blade sitting out there that would fit on one of our pickups?
No.
Right? No, we do not.
No, we don't.
Yeah, okay, he was asking that question. He
We
wanted
don't-
me to ask that question.
We don't have a blade on any pickup. We've considered it in the past, and one foreman requested any time he can, because he'd like to have it when he goes and checks roads. I said, if it's evident that there's snow on the road and you're worried about the snow on the road, get in a truck.
Yeah.
You know, we
don't have one sitting there.
we don't have one, no.
Okay.
Much stimulated this discussion, and we sat around the table down there talking about our quotes for our part-time people and what it's gonna cost us and what it's gonna cost us for removal of snow in the courtyard. We found that a lot of counties have a pickup, and their maintenance man at the courthouse takes care of it. We don't have a pickup like that. And, you know, a lot of times they'll go pick up and shove that off real fast. But they really laughed at us. We said we'd paying $30-some an hour for temporary workers.
Well, what are they paying?
I don't know.
They better ask, because I bet you they're paying that too.
I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't, it's late this time. I think most of them said, paying that extra wage of what they were getting when they left is fine, but why do you pay the insurance and the IFRS on top of that? They're already getting a retirement check. Man, that's something we need to talk about next year, but that's where this conversation came about. We learn more sitting around the table talking to other counties than we do from the speakers, and that's what some of the things came out.
Some of the time.
It depends on the winter, and the interesting thing is we can hire a second man out there and might not have any hours or 10 hours, but I know in the background, we got somebody that's experienced,
Yeah, you don't have
qualified.
to train them at all.
That's worth a lot, that's worth a lot right there.
And there's gonna be no worries about somebody doing somebody...
equipment.
Right, damage to equipment or themselves.
True.
Our biggest liability is somebody getting hurt out there. And
You ever
people are
had a
gonna,
couple complaints or accidents that really hurt you in the long...
it doesn't matter what you paid, and I have complete confidence in these guys, because they've been around the system. Yes, just like me, they might screw up, and everybody screws up, but at least they're trained if they screw up.
We might be better off than other counties, I'm just reporting what they told us.
Pokey does something similar, they hire them back at their, regular wage as to whatever that was, whether they add the fringes on or not. I think it points out, a lot of things, but, that's where we're at on our true cost. If they were an employee, we'd still be less than that, because we'd be carrying them all the time.
And they're on call all winter.
They're on call.
We may not have to pay them ever.
Right, and
That's the
that's,
thing about it.
And, I mean, we're not guaranteeing it. Somehow this is gonna be a pay me now or pay me later,
Yeah.
one way or another.
They're not guaranteed how many hours a week, no.
Okay, well, that's a question Bruce called me about, because he thought that or something.
We've thought
Heard that.
there is a place for it potentially on some of these 5-ton and 3-ton bridges, but to date, we've been able to, either get it ourselves with, the buck or skid loader, and, you know, after the snow, or somebody locally has done it for us and billed us the $30 or $50. Whoop-de-doo.
Okay.
Pay 'em is what we do in those cases. And on something like this courthouse, you know, if they get started early enough, again, it's all a function of how much time, and even at the rates, if it's a skid loader and it takes 5 hours, or if it's a bigger piece of equipment, it takes 2 hours. You know, it's proportional, the rates are gonna be higher for something that will move more snow.
Yeah.
And pickup, would do it, because pickups do school lots or whatever all the time, but, again, it's a function of how long you're gonna spend doing it.
That's the question we had for you.
That's the only question?
That's the only question
Boy,
today.
yeah, you're getting easier as the year goes on, Rick, then, so.
Okay, thanks, Paul. All right, do you guys wanna make a decision on the snow removal today?
I don't think we have any choice at this late time.
We could have snow.
We're getting to the point where
Yeah,
we can
I'd say we
make
go
a
ahead and accept the quote this year and think about it for another year. So I'd move we accept the quote from Marshall for the removal of snow before that starts.
Can I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay.
And,
And it's, I talked to Doug, it's based on a quarter hour.
okay,
You know, if it goes over half hour, it goes to 45 minutes, but, so, that's how it's.
yeah, we just piled it in a pile, and if we have to haul away big bushes, the county will do that for us.
And then if we need to have it sanded, he thought we could get Paul to come up sand cheaper than he could, because they got sanders.
And wouldn't have to do that
That'll
until,
work.
We can sand, the problem is when.
yeah, wouldn't be a great hurry on
I
that.
mean, if we're here, it's good, but
You know,
if it
it's
comes...
living in the shoes we wear. I don't
Yeah,
want
leave your
anybody...
high heels home.
But he can sand if we want him to sand, but this is strictly a snow bid.
Yeah, I understand.
And we could let you know too, Paul.
No, and it works well, it could work well. We've run in between vehicles and tried to lay a little out there, and we get in trouble laying too much out there.
Yeah.
I see Melanie came in here, next year she'll have a pickup with a blade on it, she can do our cleaning.
But you don't want me doing that.
Alrighty.
We'll supplement what we have to do there.
You ready to take a vote on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. We have committee reports.
Yeah, good. I don't know about you guys, all I had to do was that meetings for supervisors down there. Not a good meeting. I don't know. Larger trucks, for one thing, on the highways was one of the meetings. Talked about jails, water quality. I don't know, that's about all we had, I think.
I think we all attended about the same meetings. On Tuesday afternoon, I met with the Farm Bureau legislative group. We talked, a bunch of us went to the Farm Bureau building and talked about mental health and water quality, to see what we could get them to work with us, and we work with them. They set their feet in the ground. They don't want anything that's gonna cost taxes. They will support us on anything with property tax. If it's got anything to do with property tax, they won't support anything. And they've been given their direction from the higher ups. We didn't get to talk to the board of directors, we just talked to their lobbyists. They was just very dynamic set on that. They support something whereby if the state takes it over, they phase themselves out of it, but they don't want this levy removed, even though a lot of counties have reduced their property tax, but some of them would raise it, and they're fighting not to have anything else on property tax. They argued about per capita. They said they're getting robbed because per capita cost is not fair because urban versus rural. Maybe they got a good point, I don't know, but that's where we know we stand with legislation on trying to get something for mental health changes. Our local farm bureaus, and most of the people said, they're supportive of it, but it changes when you get down to Des Moines. They change their head. We meet with our people here annually, and they'd be happy to support it, within reason, but that's one of the obstacles we gotta go to. And we all went to other meetings. We had general sessions on Wednesday, which we all attended. One of the breakout sessions I thought was the most interesting to me was working with people you don't like and don't like you. You have to learn to work with people, and how you do it. They spent 45 minutes talking about that. We're pretty fortunate in this courthouse, I think, because we get along. That's not true in every place. You have to learn to work with people that don't like you. If you don't like them, you have to figure out how you can make the ball roll. And other than that, the general sessions, there were a lot of good topics. We had, Mark covered most of those things in our supervisor meetings. Good meetings this year, I thought, as far as topics go. And we have a new president of the state of Iowa sitting over there.
That's right.
Starting to see
We have to bow down to our chief.
Well, I hope that, you guys will be an integral part of all that too as we go forward. I'm hoping to promote we are ISAC and promote what we do and, how we do it and how efficient we are, so.
One other thing I noticed, we all got this same email, December 7th, whatever day that is. We have a webinar on master metrics, and that's on your computer. You can call that up and get involved with it. I'm gonna be gone that day, I can't, but if anybody wants to talk about that master matrix, there'll be a lot of discussion going on at 1:30 on December 7th online.
There was another one, on weed control. Get a plan filed and you're eligible for roadside funding and also some funding for the mowers.
Yeah,
So,
like that flail chopper we got,
Yeah.
there's grant money out there, so it's called
Yep, as long as you don't mow it when they tell you you can't mow it, and, yeah. There's a lot of catches to that program. Living roadside trust.
Yeah.
A lot of catches. I mean, the roadside seed is free. Many aren't using it anymore because of the height it grows. I mean...
Yeah. I was looking more for equipment, just
and
little money you can get for the equipment.
they also said...
I don't know what kind of
There's
strings come with that.
There's strings.
Always is.
They always also said when you mow, if you don't seed afterwards, it don't do any good to mow. You gotta...
Oh, if it's weeds you're mowing down,
Yeah.
yeah. Everybody's got an opinion, right?
Yeah.
Just like whatever you got, everybody's got one.
Yeah, what works in one county doesn't work in the other sometimes. I asked a question about snow removal, they said, that's no problem for us. Well, some places it is, maybe it doesn't snow where they live, I don't know.
They might be northeast Iowa and hill country.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Yeah.
The roads are like this, they had pictures of it.
We've considered, we've done some of it, we've documented the seeds and where we sowed, and we've not elected to join anymore on the free stuff.
Okay.
We buy, generally, we have enough seed in the ditches, even when we, build driveways with the material we're hauling out, there's enough.
There's enough seed in the dirt that it just grows.
As long as you mow several years in a row, it eventually takes over, as long as we don't get Roundup or other things involved.
Yeah.
That's probably our biggest nemesis.
Yeah, they're having slides on the oversprays, that's one of the worst problems they get is the overspray from the fields, and then you get the ragweed growing in the back slopes.
You know, I should have mentioned, there are two other breakout sessions that I thought was really interesting. One was dealing with change, how we all drag our feet for anything different. They spent 45 minutes. I felt like I was kind of old-fashioned there, because a lot of things they talked about, I didn't like. But we have to get on board and be willing to support some changes sometimes. The other was on internet security, and we did that over and over and over again, but it scares you every time they talk to you about it. You don't know who's gonna steal what from you on the internet.
Just plan on somebody doing it.
Melanie Hughes, one of the groups, was really good too. where emergency management and supervisors met together to talk about courthouse security. Peggy, you said it there.
The auditors were invited.
Tell you what, we are one of the top ones in the state as far as courthouse security.
Yeah.
We seriously are. Thanks to Peggy.
Good. I didn't even know that.
Yep. Yep, they brought that up in our Friday session.
Yeah?
Yep.
How we set on knowing where to do business in case this place gets destroyed tonight. That's what we gotta work on.
That
Yeah.
was where I really opened my mouth up and I pushed the limit, I asked questions. I think a couple of very seasoned EMAs thought they were gonna school me because I'm new, and Duke, I can't think of his last name, he's with Camp Dodge, he's their cybersecurity expert, turned around and turned it back on them and said, she's on the right track. So, we are up there, and then our district president, Thomas Creighton, said that as far as the state EMAs go, Humboldt County is one of the top ones as far as courthouse security. So we have
Well, I have to give you kudos, because as I was listening to that meeting, a lot of that stuff they were talking about, you already have put together and already have done. So it's like these counties that are just coming on board with that, were already way ahead, you know, just sat there and went, wow, we've already done that, and...
What got me excited was when Page County, Iowa had the Christmas trees set their courthouse on fire and burned it down. They had 4 foot of water in the basement, nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it won't happen, but you gotta think about the worst thing.
I mean, yeah, it could happen, any little thing.
Okay.
Okay.
This last week had multiple conversations with Don Besh on the phone, and they wanna do a joint board meeting on the HK2, rather than have a private meeting with the
I
farmers.
think that's a good idea.
Just so then everything's on record, and people aren't confused, they can go back to the minutes and see what was said, so they don't get anything misconstrued. So, their meetings are on Tuesdays, they usually do drainage at 9:30. We are the lead county, we do on Mondays. So we need to set up a time sometime here in the near future to get this looked at.
They gonna come here, we gotta go there.
Well, they might just do it over the phone, or come here.
Friday afternoon. They'll be in Fort Dodge.
It is a neutral time.
They'll be in Fort Dodge.
Yeah, they would.
I think
We should have
on the way
it.
back.
We should have the formal setting though.
Yeah, probably should, and a public notification that we're gonna have it, and, so farmers can come in and voice their opinions and listen to what we have to say, so. We'll have to get that set up on the agenda here, so. We pretty well covered everything down there at, Des Moines, but that was one question I had about that, because they were getting funding, grant for mowers, and I said, oh geez, we could get some of that money.
You noticed, in the previous governor's administration, we got rid of most of the mowers in the DOT level, and we're not gonna mow, everything's gonna be native, everything.
Yes, they're starting to mow again.
You see how much is mowed on the interstate system